guys, I'm Tiffany, and today I am going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be sharing the actual process of setting up this little B6 vinyl TN cover. I'm going to be primarily using the items in the Travel with the 1407 Netherlands kit, which this is an add-on that coordinates. If you're interested in purchasing anything you see here today, you can use my code, which I'm going to post right here for 10% off. If you'd like to see the entire kit contents, I uploaded an unboxing on Monday, and you can check that out. I'm going to start by grabbing my paper trimmer and this cover, which is off of another B6 insert. And I use the cover as a template so that I can kind of choose exactly what piece of the design is going to end up as my new decorative cover. I usually give myself a little bit of horizontal margin just because it doesn't always fit as snugly around the insert, but I want vertically the cover to match exactly. So I'm just cutting that. You might notice that this is sped up. It's because it takes me about an hour to put everything together, and I don't want you to have to sit through that piece by piece. Now I'm just grabbing all of the die cuts and doilies and journaling cards and laying them out so I can try to choose what I want to put on this page. This is a really detailed piece of paper, and so I don't want to cover up too much of it. Here I'm just grabbing the stamps that were in the Havana kit. They're also available a la carte now on the shop, so that you can go ahead and get the set if you'd like. I'm using VersaFine ink, just showing you there that it's inked up really well, and I'm going to stamp it right into the middle of this doily. You might notice there's a lot of give there. It's because I'm actually working on my floor, on the carpet. If you are working on a solid surface, you might want to put something a little bit squishy beneath it just to make sure you get a good clean stamp. Here I'm showing you the wet adhesive I use. It's called Scotch Quick Dry. With doilies, you've got all those little holes, and so I find that a wet glue adhesive works best. I'm using, it's actually like a silicone mat, but it's similar to a Ranger craft mat so that I can easily wipe the adhesive off, and then I'm just going to trim the doily. The inside is upside down, and I also really love this blue building paper, so I decided to trim that up and use it on the inside. So I'm just going to trim it so that it fits exactly, and I'm going to use this Scotch Advanced Tape Glider to adhere it down. This is like a tape runner, and you can get smaller ones. I like this one for big jobs, but I've had it forever because of scrapbooking. I think you can get them still at Michael's or online, but really just any tape adhesive will work just fine. You might have seen me pull in my box in the background. That's another thing for working on the floor. The tape runner works a lot better on a hard surface, so I just wanted something a little more stable. I'm going to go ahead and add some more details to the interior now, starting with this navy blue and rose gold washi tape from Simply Gilded, trying my best to get it on straight and then trimming off the edges. I'm going to pull in this pocket that comes with the kit. It's not necessarily supposed to be used in decoration, but it's the perfect size, and I love it to add a pocket to the inside of the insert. I'm just going to spend a second here trying to figure out how best to put this journaling card on there, and I end up deciding that I want another layer of color. So this is some green glitter paper. It's just from Michael's, and I'm using that to mat the journaling card. I start kind of centering it, and then I decide to place it further down on the washi tape just for a little more interest, and I'm really liking that. It's a nice little pocket. In the process of trying out an insert in here, I noticed that the edge of the doily isn't adhered very securely, so I'm going to add a bit of washi tape over it, just around the spine to make sure that that stays put. This would have been a great place to use the washi that came in the kit, but I'll tell you later, I misplaced it. All right, so there is that one, all set. Next, I'm going to grab this beautiful windmill image, and I know I want to trim it down, so I'm looking to see what paper I want to put on the background, and I decided I'm going to do this green as kind of the base for the whole insert cover. So I trim that down, and then I'm going to spend a few minutes trimming down the windmill. So I'm going to kind of decide what part I want to actually be showing, and I mark it, and I trim it down. I know this is super exciting, right guys? One of the problems with doing a setup video is that some of it is a little bit monotonous, but I want you to be able to see the whole process. So at that point, it's the whole size of the cover, and I want there to be a frame of the cover itself around it. So I just trim it off a little bit more. And I decide that I don't really love the green, but luckily the other side works perfectly. So sometimes it's a lot of trial and error just to kind of figure out what you like best. I always encourage people to just sort of play around and look and see what you think. So I decided I like that. Somehow in the trimming process it was uneven, so there's lots of trimming to make sure everything is straight. And then I'm just going to center that and adhere it on. Next I pull out this journaling card, and I like it, but it feels like it's dominating a bit much. So I decided to just trim off a little bit of this border on each side. And I really like the way that that ends up looking. So I'm going to go ahead and get that down. I kind of go with both corners to see which one I like better. Then I'm going to do something on the back. I'm just kind of trying to decide. I like that journaling card with those flowers, but I want it to have something so it's not just floating in space. So I'm going to do a couple layers of washi at the bottom here to kind of ground it. And I don't push this down real hard because I know it's might not be exactly where I want it to be, but with a bit of fiddling, I decided I like that placement. And I really love how I kind of layered the die cuts over the edge of the journaling card. It might be a little bit hard to see in this quick of a video, but it's kind of a fun effect. So now I'm looking at the inside, and I'm just kind of pulling out different things, trying to decide what might look good. I decided that this would be a great place to use that burgundy doily, and now I'm just trying to decide the best arrangement. I decided that looks pretty well balanced, and I'm going to use that same Scotch quick dry glue to adhere this doily down. And I'm just trying to figure out placement here again. And you'll see that I totally fail, and I decide I need it moved over a bit more so you can see it better on both sides. Luckily, that quick dry glue isn't immediately dry glue, so I was able to adjust that a bit. And then I'm just gonna adhere down these die cuts. This particular kit comes with a lot of really fun die cuts, and I think I used every single one in this process. So there's a quick glimpse of the finished product there, and I'm going to put my team tracking insert inside. Now I'm moving on to the inserts that came in the kit. I love this little logo, and I don't want to cover it up, so I'm going to cover one, and I'm going to leave the back of the other one a little less decorated. I decided I really like this smaller tulip print, so I'm going to cut this down to exactly 5 by 7. You see me open up the trimmer so I can get to the 7-inch mark, and that way it'll just completely cover the back side. There's my handy dandy kit box again, providing a nice firm surface for me to get adhesive all the way to the edge of this paper. And I just line it up and smooth it down real well. I'm going to use this washi to just secure the spine again to make sure that as I'm opening and closing it, it's not going to fall apart. Once again, would have been a great place to use the kit washi if I remembered that I had it. So I'm going to leave the front cover of this as it is. It's so pretty. I really just want to leave it. And I'm just going to add a little couple of die cuts to the back side here for some interest. I love these little bunnies, and I think they're just perfect. And that's going to be it. So that one was really simple. I'm moving on to vellum, and I actually miss a little bit of what I'm doing here. I'm cutting it down using the same template so that I can just slide it around and insert. And then I start by adding a little strip of that same navy and rose gold washi, but somehow I missed that in the recording, so you'll see that in just a second. There's the vellum with the washi already down, and I'm going to add my favorite die cut, the little blue buildings, and you'll see that again in just a few minutes when I do the flip through. Okay, so now I'm doing the back of the other insert that comes in the kit, and I decided to use this scrap of blue buildings and the few washis that I had chosen to do some stripes. Everybody say it with me. Once again, this would have been an excellent place for the kit washi. Sometimes you make an error like that, and especially when you're filming and trying to be efficient with time, you don't realize it, and you just work with what you have. Luckily, that washi will go with all sorts of other things, and I can use it to decorate my weeks and days as well. So I'm just alternating washi and strips of paper to give myself a little striped look. And like I mentioned, I want to make sure that I leave the logo at the bottom because I really like it. Once I get all the washi on there, I'm just going to trim off the edges so that it's nice and neat. And I decided to add the clog die cut as well. So there's that. I'm not adding anything to the front of that one either because I really like the artwork. You saw a quick glimpse there of a B6 dash sleeve, also from the 1407, and I'm just choosing the paper that I'm going to use to fill that dash sleeve. I cut this down to 6 7/8 by 4 7/8, so just about 1/8 of an inch shorter in each direction than the inserts. You can actually go a bit bigger, but this makes it easier for me to get them in and out of the sleeves. So I'm just testing that to make sure that the size looks right. And I'm going to start decorating. This is a paper doily that came in the kit, and I really love the texture, so I wanted to show you a close-up of that. I'm going to fold it in half and just use my scissors to cut it so that I can use one piece on each side of the stash sleeve. And the handy dandy Scotch quick dry glue to adhere it again. This is actually not a Ranger craft mat. It's like a silicone mat that you use for cooking usually, but it works the same way. It's easy to wipe adhesive right off. And then once again, the edge of the doily is a little hard to get adhered securely, so I'm going to just put a little bit of washi over it to make sure that that stays put. This is a scrap that I just made by cutting those dash sleeve pages, and I'm using my scissors to fussy cut out a flower from the larger side, and I'm just going to glue that down as though it were another die cut. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually slip it into the dash sleeve. And I want a way to have my sticky notes accessible throughout the month. So I'm going to adhere this target pocket right onto the inside of the dash sleeve and slip the sticky notes right in there. I end up going a bit far and have to kind of reorient it so that it'll stay stuck. And then I'm going to work on the back side. This is basically the same process. I'm just going to glue down the doily. And if you end up getting a little too much glue and it's oozing out of the holes, you can actually use a paper towel to kind of smooth it straight and trim and add washi, all the same process that I did the first time around. Okay, so this time I'm going to use a slightly different flower, but again, just from a scrap that I got from cutting out the whole cover. And I end up adhering it a little closer to the edge than I like. So when I compare it to the other one, it gets adjusted just a bit. And then I'm just going to slide it right back into the dash sleeve. This is a new dash sleeve, so you'll see I struggle just a bit with sliding it in, but if you use it a couple of times, that becomes really easy. The next thing I'm going to do is grab the vinyl cover, which is an optional add-on, and another one of these pockets that I have from a past kit. I think about putting the stickers in there, but they don't actually fit, so I'll find something else to do with that later. The last thing I'm going to work on is the tabs, and I'm choosing the order of the inserts here based partly on what's inside and partly on what's outside. So I get these in the order that I want, and I'm just going to adhere these tabs directly onto the covers. They're vinyl, so they're nicely durable, and they're stickers, so you can just stick them right on. They are one of my favorite things in the kit, and I think there's a rumor that Natasha might be coming out with some non-kit themed tabs. I'm going to buy them all. So I'm basically just trying to figure out kind of even spacing on these. I don't totally succeed, but it all works out. I like to have my tabs on top instead of the side because the way that I'm using this TN is going to be pretty full, and using the top tabs just makes it a little easier for me to use tabs in this more compact vinyl cover. Okay, so my phone died as I was getting ready to put everything actually together into the notebook, but I decided you probably didn't really want to watch me like string everything together anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. The majority of everything that's in here came in the kit except for a few pieces of washi tape and the one little square of green glitter paper. One unfortunate thing is I was putting everything together and gathering up my extras and realized I never used the washi tape that came in the kit. So I'll show you. I ended up putting a few pieces in here afterwards, but otherwise you saw me do everything. So this little charm comes in the kit. You can see that with 4 inserts, a dashboard, some vellum and everything, it's fairly full. It doesn't overhang, but it's close. I'm okay with that because this mostly stays at home anyway and I don't use a lot of stickers in it, so it should be fine. Worst case, if there's, you know, if it really doesn't fit, I'll just take this last notes insert out and stick it in my normal main planner. Okay, so let's take a look. I will use these as the month progresses, but I'm going to use this in May, so I don't have any, I don't have places to mark just yet. We've got, glare, dashboard with sticky notes. I ended up taking the backing off of this so I could, I just took a few off the top and the rest will sit on my desk. It was a little bulky. So vellum. The weekly insert, this is marking the first week. There's one of those pieces of the washi that came in the kit. It's so beautiful. I'm really actually kind of upset that I I set it in the box so that I wouldn't lose it, and then I closed the box to use it as a hard surface for gluing things down and forgot it was in there. So I'm actually kind of upset about that, but it's okay. I'll use it in my weekly decorating. So there's that. Usually I actually take this cover off of these, so I should do that. There's another piece of that washi tape. And then the dashboard, which is around 2 inserts. My jump bands need to be trimmed. This is a pocket. This is my social media. I guess I could have talked about that. The first one is, like I said, it's the combo that came with the kit. This is my team tracking insert, my social media insert. There's the back of that one. And then this one is the notes insert that comes with the kit. So there you go, start to finish, setting up a traveler's notebook with the 1407 Travel with the 1407 kit. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, and you can follow me on Instagram for more inspiration as well. Have a great day.